Hello everybody, I'm Nurgleprobe. Welcome to my top 100 games of all time list. It's December 18th and today we're going through game 32 to 29. Let's get started. My number 32 is Star Ocean 4. So Star Ocean is on this part of the list and the last part of the list, but this is the fourth game in the series, and this is a prequel to the other three games in the series. And basically it's been World War III on Earth. Earth is ruined and you need to leave Earth to find a new planet to live on. So you are one of the first human expansions trying to find planets in different solar systems, and you are using the first space jump system, yada, whatever you call that, hyper jump, to explore planets, and that is what you do. And this is one of the most sci-fi focused games in the Star Ocean series. As I mentioned in the last video, the Star Ocean series have this kind of sci-fi theme, but you often go to fantasy settings and medieval planets and worlds. And you do that in this game as well, but there's a lot more focus on you and your spaceship and that kind of thing around in this game. The fighting is what really makes Star Ocean games stand out for me. Instead of the turn-based system, it's an action-based system. So you can actually run around on the battlefield and activate your skills, and you use them much like a fighting game or a hack and slash game where you run around and use skills. So I really enjoy the fighting system, and that is really what put these games on my top 50, on my top 100 games of all time list. So number 32, Star Ocean 4, Last Hope. My number 31 is the second game in a series, and this is the only game from that series that's on my top 100 list, and that is Broken Sword 2. You play George, and you are going to France, I believe it is, to a mansion to visit some scientist that is calling for you because they found something, I believe. I don't remember. Or archaeologist. Is that how you say it? And as you go there, you realize that no one is there, and you go into this house, and suddenly you and your, I think it's girlfriend, or George's girlfriend, gets knocked down by these Aztec warriors, though they are dressed in modern clothes, and you are tied to a chair. George is tied to a chair, and they put the room on fire, and there's a huge poisonous spider, don't ask me why, in this room, and that's where it starts. And it's a click adventure game. So this is probably the first click adventure game that it's an actual click adventure game that I've mentioned throughout my game series. I like to use just that genre as a thing, the click adventure, just to try and explain that it's actually a more story-based game and you just make some options along the way. But this is an actual click adventure game where you have your character on the screen and you can click on everything around you to get information or interact with it in different ways. And you have to interact with everything in the right order, find the right items, and it's a really, really challenging game with a great story, great characters, and yeah, I played this for the PlayStation the first time, at the demo, and I played that demo I think 20 times or something, and I just loved it so much to try, and even though it was the same puzzle over and over in the demo, I just enjoyed it so much. And yeah, Broken Sword 2, my number 31. My number 30 is Resident Evil 4, the fourth game in the series where they, for the first time, stopped with the set camera angles. The camera is now instead a third-person camera-ish kind of thing that follows your character around. You play Leon from the second game. He is now not a police officer anymore. He is working for the president, I believe, at this point. Or is it now? No, he's probably just in some special force. Is he CIA? I don't remember exactly who he's working for in this game. But you are a bit cooler, you're a bit more badass than you were in the second game. You're no longer a rookie. In this game, compared to the other Resident Evil games, they're not zombies. Well, they're zombie-ish, though they're actually parasites instead in this game. So it's not about the T-virus, even though that is, of course, mentioned throughout the game. And Umbrella is still a thing that exists in the world. So instead of the horror-focused puzzle game, this is more of an action-based... I don't want to call it horror, even though some of the parts of this game is really, really horrifying. Especially some parts of the game where you get chased around by an armor that you can't kill and you have to run around or run away from it in complete darkness and things. It's just really freaky. But Resident Evil 4, one of the most famous game in the Resident Evil series, or famous games in the Resident Evil series, and it's just great, really. It's a very long game compared to the other Resident Evil games. The older one, the first, second, and third, could be completed in around 3 hours each, depending on how you saw the second game, because that had 2 sides of the story, so that was double the time length, but still only 3 hours each. Well, this game could actually take a few more hours. This could take up to 6 hours, I think. 6-7 hours the first time you played it through. And it was a big, huge experience. It was so very different from all the Resident Evil games. And even though it never really felt like a Resident Evil game, it really stood out like a great game. And also, some trivia, this was actually, I'm pretty sure that Devil May Cry was actually supposed to be Resident Evil 4 at first, but it was so different from the Resident Evil series that became Devil May Cry instead, and then they started working on a complete new thing for Resident Evil 4, and that was about ghosts to begin with, and they just trashed all of that. They even have a video of like Leon fighting dolls and shadow people and everything, but then they took that out and they made parasites, so I don't know if that's more terrifying or less terrifying. My number 30, Resident Evil 4. My number 29 is 9 games. I'm cheating the list a little bit here. It's Mega Man 1 through 9. And the reason I can't pick one here is because Mega Man 1 through 9, they're all basically the same game. I'm gonna get punched by someone for this. They're not the same game, but they're different bosses, there are different abilities, there are some differences in what exists in the game world each game. But really, it's about 8 bosses and a final stage with several different areas. And that's the theme throughout these games. And you play Mega Man, this little robot boy with a blue armor and a gun for an arm. And yeah, that's weird. And it's a platform game, and as I said, 8 stages, each stage with great music, fun bosses. And I just can't pick one in this series. But if I had to really pick one of the Mega Man games for the first through 9, it would probably be Mega Man 4, because that was the first one we owned, and we actually had a Japanese copy of this, or Asian copy of this. That is only half the cassette. So to actually play it in a European or a United Western version of the Nintendo, you had to buy like a small second part that you put the cassette on and then into the system, which was very fun. So everything, the cover and everything was in Japanese, and I think it was a yellow cassette, I don't remember, but it was a great game, and I still remember the music from my favorite level of all time, and that is Skullman. Now I don't have the melody in my head, but it's definitely one of my favorite songs from the Mega Man series. So yeah, my number 29, Mega Man 1 through 9. I would not be able to say which game any boss or level came from, so yeah, that's why they're all there. Except for Skullman, which is game 4. Thank you for watching, everybody. December 18th today, game 32 through 29. Tomorrow we'll go through 28, 27, 26, 25, I believe. 4 more games on my top 100 game list. You can find the link down below to go to the complete playlist where you can find all the parts uploaded so far, and by the 25th of December all parts will be up and all 100 games will have been mentioned. I will also release a special video once I get back home after Christmas to talk about a few games that were left out of the list and stuff like that. So yeah, look forward to that. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow.